Tonight, I can make one political promise that no other candidate could make, and it's one that I can keep. After my speech, you can all go home. Good evening. Bonsoir, chers amis, collègues conservateurs.
Good evening, good friends, conservative colleagues and members of the media.
What your name is, where you're from, or what you do. If you work hard and persevere, you can achieve financial security for you and your family and create opportunities for your children. I call this the Canadian dream. L'espoir de chaque Canadien et Canadienne.
The hope of each Canadian to have financial security for his or her family and create opportunity for coming generations, future generations. This is the Canadian dream.
Canadians can tell stories of success and fulfilled dreams, but right now the current economic reality is that many Canadians cannot. We live in the best country in the world, but it didn't get this way by accident. It happened because of good decisions by good governments over many years, in fact most of the last 150 years. But we don't have a good government in Ottawa right now. This is why we need a Conservative government back in Ottawa and why I am running for leader of our party. Government was never supposed to be show business, but we have a Prime Minister now who is all about show business. It doesn't matter how many fabulous selfies or fake photobombs you take each day, it won't help people achieve their dreams for tomorrow or to have security for today. Trudeau's Liberals are raising taxes, digging us deeper into debt, and killing jobs and opportunities with irresponsible policies. This leadership race is about more than our party. It's about rescuing our country. This race is bigger than the issues. Yes, it is. This race is bigger than the issues that divide us into social conservatives, progressives, and fiscal conservatives. So we must remain united, not divided. We must, yes, indeed. We must stay focused on the big picture, not just our own special issues, because 2019 is about more than just winning. 2019 is about saving Canada and returning our country to prosperity. Over the past 8 months, I've traveled across our great country 8 times. I even hopped in an RV and drove from coast to coast. I stopped in every province and in over 230 towns. I met with thousands of Conservatives in those important places where Canadians gather daily to discuss this country's most serious issues. Not the House of Commons, Tim Hortons. It's true. This is where you find out what's really going on, where you take the pulse of the party and of the nation. I have a new appreciation for who we are as Canadians. For example, George and Neela in Prince Edward Island opened up their home to us and invited their neighbors over for seafood chowder and to hear what I had to say. It was a full house. This may not sound that unusual, but George and Neela had never met me before. Neela's here tonight. Denis à Granby est en fauteuil roulant. Malgré ça, il est venu me rencontrer.
Who came to meet me, and he said the Prime Minister came to his city and he would never stop, but you stopped, and this is why I'm supporting you.
He didn't have to do this. He did it because he cares. These and the thousands of other Canadians who came out to meet me all care deeply about the future of our country. This is our base. But we can't take them for granted. Our party must do a better job of listening to its members. Our grassroots, like you, felt ignored in the last election. This cost us dearly. Il faut pas oublier la base.
Let's not forget the grassroots. We should not make the same mistake again.
To win in 2019, we need to re-engage our base. That is why I drove across the country, to listen to members like Delbert in Courtenay, Rachel in Nanton, Fabian in Sherbrooke, and Dennis in Corner Brook. I've made uniting our grassroots my #1 priority, and I've already gotten to work. That's why I've traveled to more ridings and personally met with more people than any other candidate. To win, To win in 2019, we also need to reach out to young Canadians. We did not have their support in the last election. The biggest issue facing young Canadians is getting that first job. And this reminds me of Susan in Lunenburg, who told me that her son has decided to become a welder, but she'd hoped that he would go to university. After he explained to her that as a welder he would have good paying work for years to come and no student debt, she changed her mind. Folks, young Canadians want alternatives to university and high student debt. We need a leader who can help them achieve this. Yes we do. I lived and worked in Switzerland. I saw firsthand a training program that works, where the majority of high school grads go directly to on-the-job training programs. Ça me fait penser à Louis-Philippe, à Lévis, un étudiant qui est venu me rencontrer.
And this reminds me of a student in Lévis who wanted to better understand my apprenticeship program, and he even contributed to my campaign.
Introduce an on-the-job training program that will help young Canadians to get that first job and good jobs. We also need to make sure that Canadians are getting the skills for the jobs of tomorrow, which will be quite different from the jobs of today. Folks, we are going through a new industrial revolution. It's predicted that by 2030, 38% of jobs will be lost to automation. Computers are already doing the jobs people used to do. We've been using bank machines instead of tellers for years. When we buy groceries, we can use the self-checkout machine instead of the cashier. And now, if you want to buy a burger and fries, you can go to a computer kiosk instead of one of those millions of teenagers who got their first jobs at McDonald's. We are witnessing the explosion of the digital economy, where clicks are replacing bricks, where companies like Amazon are quickly replacing companies like Sears. We're also witnessing the shift to a shared economy, where Uber is replacing taxis and Airbnb is replacing hotels. Artificial intelligence is replacing human intelligence. We need to get ahead of the curve. As Prime Minister, I will make sure that we are preparing Canadians for the new economy. Canada has prospered for 150 years. Now we need to make sure that Canada is prepared for the next 150 years. We need to negotiate from a position of strength with our largest trading partner and neighbor to the south, the United States. We need to tackle environmental threats head-on, not by imposing a carbon tax, but by investing in new technologies. Yes. We need to invest in the military. We have submarines that don't go down and helicopters that don't go up. I will ensure that our men and women in uniform have the equipment necessary to get the job done. We need to replace our aging fighter jets with a permanent fleet. We need to build new icebreakers to preserve our sovereignty in the Arctic. We need legal and orderly immigration, not illegal and disorderly migration. And we need to get our natural resources to market. We have over $129 billion in projects being held up by special interest groups. We cannot allow these projects to be hijacked any longer. As Prime Minister, I will designate and build an energy corridor to ensure our resources get to Tidewater. Canada is a trading nation. However, we are still overly dependent on one trading partner. We need to expand our markets. As Prime Minister, I will negotiate more free trade deals, not with dictatorships, but with democracies similar to ours, like Britain, Japan, New Zealand, and Australia. And we need to boost the economy by simplifying the tax code and reducing red tape. Friends, a successful country runs on the hope and the will of its people and through their confidence in its future. It is my goal to restore sound economic stewardship, regain confidence in our economy, and once again present Canada as an example to the world of a vibrant economy that works for its people. Our country has all the ingredients necessary to create prosperity for all Canadians, but we will only achieve our full potential when our individual citizens succeed, when all Canadians can once again aspire to achieve their dreams, whatever those dreams may be. But we need a leader who can get us there. I have the experience, I have the vision, and I have the plan. I am that leader. Friends, make no mistake. The next election is about the future of our country. It's about laying the foundation for what Canada can become over the next 150 years. So now I ask you to make no mistake in choosing our next leader. Make a strong future your first choice for Canada. Make Andrew Saxton your first choice for leader. Merci beaucoup. Bonne nuit. Thank you.